It is delightful to see everybody here. I'm Lynn Smith, and I'm the chairman of the Lee County Board of Education. And on behalf of the board, I want to welcome everyone here for this most auspicious occasion. The first thing I'd like to do is introduce our board members present. Mark Akanosho, who is vice chairman of the board, if you'd stand, and Tamara Brogan. So from the board, welcome for this very special occasion. This may be one of my favorite occasions of the year, right after EOCs and EOGs. But we are here for a special occasion to recognize what I guess we would have to consider the best of the best. And what really makes it special is that those of you who are going to recognize tonight were picked by your peers. Now, when you get picked by your peers, that means the folks who watch you every day and see what you do and see the effect you have on the children we serve. And that's what makes this such a special occasion. And I congratulate each of you in advance. And I wish I could pay you for what you're worth, but we're working on it. Dr. Bryan?
Good evening. As Dr. Smith said, this is one of the greatest pleasures of the entire school year because we get to recognize our excellence in the classrooms, excellence that our teachers bring daily to our students, the engaging personalities, the creative lessons, the relationships that make a difference for students. Today I actually read a story online about it was actually the editor of, I believe, the Huffington Post Education. And this editor was talking about the impact that a music teacher / soccer coach had on her life. And the one thing she discussed, and the sort of the theme that went throughout the entire course of the article, was the expectation and the relationship that the teacher had built with the student, and how important that was, and what a lasting impact that it had on the student and their ultimate success. And I think that's what all of our teachers, not only here tonight, but throughout our school district, but particularly our students, our teachers here tonight, bring to the table. They have a great wealth of knowledge in their content areas and how they teach and what they do. But the most wonderful thing about them are the relationships that they build with students. And sort of that piece that it's hard to measure and sort of difficult to sort of reach out and touch and grab. But when you see it and you experience it, you know it. And just like to thank all of them for all of their efforts that they have on a daily basis for our students and for being here tonight. We have a very, I think, important list of folks that make this sort of something that we can do every year for our teachers. And this has become an ongoing tradition for Lee County Schools. We are very fortunate to have a very strong partnership and sponsorship of the Teacher of the Year competition. Just some people I'd like to recognize here tonight. Representing Wells Fargo, who is always instrumental, as we like to say, in providing the cash donation for the award tonight, $500. Jennifer St. Clair is here tonight representing Wells Fargo. Jennifer. Sanford Area Chamber of Commerce has always been instrumental in joining us. Bob Joyce, who could not be with us tonight because of something that came up he had to take care of. But I have to say, for those of you who know Bob, he is one of the staunchest supporters of our school district and what we try to achieve here. And he understands education and how important it is and how important it is to a community. And even though he's not here tonight, I'd like to give Bob a recognition and a round of applause for everything he does for us. And finally, the sponsor that provides us with the most difficult decision of the entire evening. Will Wilkinson, who owns Wilkinson Automotive, everything they do in allowing the use of an automobile for the year. Representing Wilkinson tonight, Will's better half, Betsy Wilkinson, who's here. Thank you, Betsy. We are just very fortunate to have this community support to make this event possible, and are just very thankful. As we typically do this, there's been sort of an outline of a presentation about each candidate for Teacher of the Year, and we're very fortunate to have a couple of folks here tonight who will read that. We ask that as we introduce each teacher, that they would come up front and sort of spread themselves out around the podium up here, so that when the winner's announced, we can have a picture of the winner and then everybody behind them. First person that will be announcing names and reading a little bit of information about each teacher and all the great things that they do. Jennifer St. Clair, who is here. Please come up, Jennifer. And also Margaret Murchison, the voice of the community, who is also an outstanding supporter of our schools, and does so many things behind the scenes that people just have no idea about to support not only our schools but this community. We're very fortunate. So I will turn it over to Jennifer to get everything started, and then we will make an announcement. Jennifer?
Thank you. I'm feeling a little not like myself because I'm supposed to be representing Bob, who's representing Wells Fargo, who can't be here, and now I'm representing Dr. Senegal, who can't be here either. So I'm not Jennifer at all tonight. And I hope I do these justice because I have just received them. So B.T. Bullock Elementary is proud to call Christina Stone our Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Stone embodies the Bullock mission to love, to learn, to lead in all that she does. She exhibits love in her class and beyond the walls of her classroom to act as a mentor for children throughout the building. Many students start their day in Mrs. Stone's room before heading to their classrooms. She invests in relationships to help all students find paths to success. Her love for students is so clearly apparent. She focuses on learning by consistently creating relevant and engaging learning experiences. She has exposed her class to rich experiences through the Classroom Champions program, which pairs her students with an Olympic athlete. She provides once-in-a-lifetime learning experiences using technology. Mrs. Stone leads in her field as a nationally board-certified teacher. She is also the RTI chairperson at Bullock, and she works tirelessly to provide support for struggling students. Mrs. Stone shares her blogs and her Classroom Champions materials with the entire school community to enable all staff and students to share in the experience. She creates leadership opportunities for her students to serve their community, help younger students, and help with the operation of the school. Mrs. Stone is quite simply a master at her craft. Her work impacts students' lives daily. She is the total package, and B.T. Bullock is lucky to have her.
And I have the pleasure of calling my first honoree from Bragg Street Academy, Darlene McDowell. Ms. McDowell obtained her Bachelor of Science in Poultry Science in 1999. In 2011, she obtained her Master of Agricultural Education from North Carolina State. Ms. McDowell started her teaching career in Lee County in July 2000, where she taught high school mathematics. She taught middle school in Wake County, Wake Young Women's Leadership Academy in 2011. She returned to teach at Bragg Street in 2014. When Ms. McDowell interviewed with us, she expressed an interest to be back in Lee County, and she shared how she loves to teach middle school students. The team wanted to hire her on the spot. Ms. McDowell has been a major player in all of the wonderful things that has happened at Bragg Street this year. She took on the role as the Avid Site Team Coordinator. She came in and brightened up the classroom with all sorts of colors and pictures. She has arranged several trips to college campuses for all of the students, not just the Avid students. She has raised the expectations for her students. She is very inspirational to the staff. She gets along with everyone on the team, and she goes the extra mile with her sewing talents. She made us all Christmas gifts and aprons for our new foods class. Her experience as a foster parent has helped her to work effectively with our student population. Ms. McDowell is so thankful for the opportunity to work at Bragg Street Academy, and we are so grateful and lucky to have her on our team. Ms. McDowell.
Wendy Bryant Motley has worked at Lee County High School for 5 years and the past 11 years at Broadway Elementary. Of course, when you hear art teacher, you think, wow, she must be so creative. Oh, how right you are. Mrs. Bryant Motley is creative with her art skills by establishing painting classes where her students work with local assisted living homes, and she also teaches adults and children on her own time how to do raku, a form of pottery. Wendy is always looking for ways to bring art into the lives of children. She gets them to think of ways to use art to celebrate Earth Day, or to get students to become involved in the school's recycling club that she heads. The way she brings art to life for students and gets them to perform when other teachers struggle to reach them is what sets her apart from other fabulous teachers. Mrs. Bryant Motley is so creative, she has found a way to be a mother to her son, Rune, who has just turned 5, be a wife to her husband, Ken, be the president of the local Delta Row chapter, become nationally board certified, volunteer time with the yearly Sanford Arts and Vine Festival, working with her church, being hired as a professional photographer to take pictures at other people's family events, and still find time to write and carry out powerful, engaging, and rigorous activities that reach children of all learning styles. Phew, I got tired just trying to write all that. I got tired reading all that. These are only a few reasons why Broadway is proud that Wendy Bryant Motley is representing them as Teacher of the Year.
Deep River Elementary School, Jill Britt. Deep River is proud to have Mrs. Jill Britt as our Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Britt has been in education for over 20 years and joined Lee County Schools in 2002. She has taught first and second grades and serves as our literacy specialist for grades 2, 3, and 4. She attended UNC Wilmington and received her elementary education degree from UNC Pembroke. She and her husband, Jeff, live in the Deep River community with their daughter, Madison, a sophomore at Lee County High School. Their oldest son, Jake, lives in Boone, and their youngest son, Noah, is a junior at Appalachian State. Mrs. Britt is a perfect example of a compassionate educator. She encourages and nurtures her students to excel to their personal best. She has developed confidence in her students, which influence their academics and leadership skills. Students in her classroom feel loved and respected, but more importantly, motivated to be a leader of their learning. Staff members respect and appreciate Mrs. Britt and her expertise. She piloted the I Read, You Read program, pairing struggling readers with an adult in the community by using Skype. With her support, this program was a huge success and built a strong relationship between the school and community. With the support of her family, they created the Josh Britt Scholarship Fund, awarding $50,000 to student athletes in memory of her son Josh over the last 5 years. Mrs. Britt thanks everyone for believing in herself and inspiring others and giving back. Ms. Jill Britt.
It is a great pleasure to recognize East Lee Middle School's Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Maggie Flowers. Mrs. Maggie Flowers earned her bachelor's degree in music education from UNC Greensboro. She began her teaching career in Caswell County School and began teaching in Lee County in 1997. She currently teaches 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students in our band and orchestra. She organized this year's Lee County Band and Orchestra Festival, prepared students to compete in the Carowinds Festival of Music, led a countywide performance at the Lee County Fine Arts Festival. Mrs. Flowers also assists the Lee County High School Marching Band. She has done all of this with the support of her loving family. Mrs. Flowers is married to James Flowers, and they have 2 beautiful children, Anne Marie, who's 9, and Timothy, 7. Mrs. Flowers' advice to other teachers is to teach from your heart, be positive, and remember that you are shaping a child's future. One of her colleagues recently stated, Mrs. Flowers embodies the values of East Lee Middle School, excellent leaders modeling success. She works with students with a wide range of abilities and makes each one feel like a success. Parents and colleagues respect her leadership and commitment to music performance. She is active in her church and community. Mrs. Flowers volunteers many hours beyond what she is asked. She is a fantastic person who inspires her students to excel in her classroom. She is always willing to help someone in need, and her smile is contagious. It is a great honor to recommend her as the Lee County Teacher of the Year.
It is with great honor to introduce the Teacher of the Year from Floyd Knight School. The candidate has served the students here within Lee County for 10 years. Dana Hendrick is knowledgeable within the field of teaching and working with students, and not only with the students, but to her fellow co-workers as well as parents. She is the first to extend a helping hand when needs arise within the second or school environment. Her enthusiastic attitude radiates from her and inspires others to perform at their best. She serves as a mentor and a leader to teachers. She is there to share creative ideas about ways to manage difficult behaviors and ways to make learning fun for students. She shares her strong organizational skills with others around her. Not only is she an amazing teacher, but she is a wife and mother of 2 sweet boys. Please join me in congratulating Dana Hendrick, the 2014-2015 Teacher of the Year for Floyd L. Knight.
Sarah Davis, Greenwood Elementary School. Sarah's teaching career began in an unconventional way. She interviewed by Skype, jumped on a plane, and headed to North Carolina in the spring of 2011. She was assigned to a 5th grade classroom, given the task of rescuing a class that had been left without a teacher. Right away, it was clear that Sarah was the perfect person for the job. She was so perfect that administration had to think long and hard about moving her to 1st grade, which was the request that she made at the end of the year. With hesitation, Sarah was moved to the 1st grade, and we watched in awe as she exceeded every expectation that you would have for a first-year teacher. In fact, Sarah exceeded the expectations that you would have for any teacher. Sarah loves her job, she loves her students, and she brings her best to Greenwood every day. It did not take long for Sarah's talents to be noticed. Her colleagues quickly chose her as their leader at Greenwood, and as soon as she was eligible, she was asked to mentor teachers new to our district. To enter Sarah's classroom is to know the magic that can happen when dedication, passion, and God-given talent come together in one person who finds her inspiration in the faces of her young students. Greenwood is very proud to introduce our Teacher of the Year, Sarah Davis.
When John Cleetwood was announced as J. Glenn Edwards Teacher of the Year, the children and staff alike exploded in celebration, and their cheering could be heard all around the school. Mr. Cleetwood is the physical education teacher at J. Glenn Edwards, and he has served in this role for the last 5 years. He spent his career split between Lee and Moore County Schools. In 2007, he was named Assistant Principal of the Year while serving at B.T. Bullock. Outside of teaching, Mr. Cleetwood enjoys all sports, music, and spending time at the coast. He took a leave from being a full-time educator to pursue his passion for golf and was a golf professional over 10 years. He played baseball at UNC and also sharpens his soul as a drum player in a band. Mr. Cleetwood is the vice chair of the Leader in Me Lighthouse team at J. Glenn Edwards and is a model leader in every way. One example of Mr. Cleetwood's love and dedication for students is that he knows every student at J. Glenn Edwards, yes, all 770 students by name. His passion for teaching and love for students is contagious, and he is adored by all who meet him. We are so proud to call Mr. Cleetwood Team JGE and honored to call him Teacher of the Year.
Deborah Gross, fourth grade teacher at J.R. Ingram, has been married 27 years to Van Gross and has 2 sons, Will, age 23, and Nolan, age 19. Mrs. Gross received a Bachelor of Arts with a major in psychology and minor in education from St. Andrew's Presbyterian College in 1984. In 2002, Mrs. Gross embarked on a journey of searching for something she stated that she knew was missing in her life. Volunteering in her son's classroom confirmed for her that becoming a classroom teacher was the path she needed to take in her life. After graduating from Campbell University in 2006 with a Master of Education and AIG state certification, she began teaching in 2007. It is apparent to anyone that knows Mrs. Gross that she is an extremely hard-working educator that constantly seeks ways to better meet the needs of her students. She is committed to all of her students' successes and states that she helps students set goals that tap their potential and encourages a vision for the future. Her use of high expectations, consistent language, and accountability in her classroom is the framework for current and future academic successes of her students. Stephen Covey often stated, "The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing." And Deborah Gross does just that. Loving her students with a commitment to their success is always her main thing, and Ingram is blessed to have her on staff. Congratulations, Mrs. Gross, on this well-deserved honor.
Lee County High School is pleased to call John Joyner the Teacher of the Year. Mr. Joyner earned both his bachelor's degree and master's degree from Campbell University. He has been a high school math teacher for 25 years. He spent 13 years at West Montgomery High School before joining the Yellow Jackets, and we are all so glad he did. When asked, Mr. Joyner's advice for new teachers is to stay positive, to be patient, and to never give up on a student. He shares that he thinks kids are creative and resourceful. It is not unusual to see John helping a student tackle math work that they didn't believe they could, or to see John giving his time to a colleague who needs support. Mr. Joyner's kind, caring manner is as unwavering as his dedication to his students and his Lee County High School family. If you ask his students, they will tell you Mr. Joyner is an amazing teacher, and they aren't shy about telling you how much he deserves to be our Teacher of the Year. He is a natural teacher who connects with his students and opens doors for them to learn and to love math. John puts kids first. It's not just a catchphrase to him, it's his foundation. We know Mr. Joyner's wonderful wife, Tamara, and his parents, Dr. and Mrs. Marvin Joyner, are so proud of his accomplishments. What else can we say about Mr. Joyner? Simply, John Joyner is truly loved by his students and his colleagues at Lee County High School. The LCHS family is extremely proud to be recognizing John Joyner as our Teacher of the Year.
Whitney Testa, Lee Early College. If you were to ask any student on the Lee Early College campus to describe Mrs. Whitney Testa, the one phrase you would consistently hear is high energy. In her role as a teacher, students not only find her highly motivating and enthusiastic about math, but also helpful in understanding connections between math and its real-world applications. Mrs. Testa does the things necessary to encourage her students to be successful in both her classroom and in their future careers. From an early age, Mrs. Testa was taught the importance of education. Her father was a superintendent of schools in New York and later in North Carolina. When it came time to select a college, she attended East Carolina University, where she obtained both a bachelor's and master's degree in mathematics education. After graduating from ECU, Mrs. Testa accepted a position at LEC. In this role, she has taught each high school math course that LEC offers. She is also an avid teacher and is a graduate advisor to a group of students. Outside the classroom, she is the team leader for the Math Science PLC, and next year will add the role of co-team leader for the LEC Beginning Teachers Program. Mrs. Testa spends considerable time outside the classroom with students on extracurricular activities. She is the driving force behind the spring formal and prepares our students for the math competitions with the North Carolina Association for Scholastic Activities. In short, Mrs. Testa is a worthy candidate for consideration for this honor.
Sand Lee Middle School is proud to present Mr. Robert Newby as our Teacher of the Year. He began his teaching career in 2010 in 6th grade math, but actually started with the Lee County School System 23 years ago as an assistant in the in-school suspension lab and as a bus driver. Currently, Robert teaches 2 sections of 8th grade math and 1 section of Math 1 at Sand Lee. Mr. Newby says he was inspired by his 6th grade teacher, a retired Lee County Schools instructor, Ruth Spears. He recalls Ms. Spears challenging him daily and setting high expectations for all her students and never settling for anything less. According to Robert Newby's current students, their math teacher has similar characteristics of his former teacher. They say he accepts nothing but their best and will have them redo and make up assignments until they show they understand and have given all they can. We asked these 8th graders to write about what makes Mr. Newby so special and deserving of the Teacher of the Year title. Over and over again, the students used the words fair, consistent, understanding, and dedicated to describe their teacher. They wrote about how he stays after school 2 afternoons each week, invites them to stay, and will work with any student until they completely understand. Multiple students said they finally were doing well in math and actually liked it because Mr. Newby is so patient and shows multiple ways to solve a problem. Robert's serious nature when it's time to work was described by several in their writings. All also followed up that their teacher knew how to laugh and joke when it was appropriate too. This was a trait they seemed to appreciate and admire. Sand Lee is very proud to call Robert Newby a stallion, our Teacher of the Year, and even more excited at the possibility of him being appropriately named Lee County Teacher of the Year.
Mrs. Robin Showalter has taught math at Southern Lee High School since 2012, but has been with Lee County Schools since 1997, previously serving as a teacher at Wesley Middle School and Sand Lee Middle School. Mrs. Showalter obtained a Bachelor of Science in Middle School Education from Campbell University and a Master's of Education in Middle School Mathematics from Fayetteville State University. Mrs. Showalter is certified to teach math in grades 6 to 12. Mrs. Showalter is also certified by the National Board of Professional Teaching Standards, serves as a mentor to new teachers, and has taught as an adjunct professor at Campbell. Mrs. Showalter is the epitome of a team player and is willing to go above and beyond to do what is best for students. Mrs. Showalter is respected by her peers and loved by her students, who affectionately refer to her as Mama Show. She believes that you teach for the outcome, not the income, and she is a firm believer that because she is a teacher, she has touched the future. Outside of the classroom, Mrs. Showalter and her husband Todd, of 30 years, have raised 3 wonderful young men, Kevin, Mitchell, and Connor, all graduates and one soon-to-be graduate of Southern Lee High School. Although she began working at Southern Lee in 2012, she has been in the stands cheering on her children and the Southern Lee Cavaliers since the school opened in 2005. Her love for learning, optimism for the future, and a constant spirit of excellence make Robin Showalter the perfect choice for Southern Lee High School's Teacher of the Year.
When Linda Cummings was named the Tramway Teacher of the Year, it was stated that she is a teacher's teacher and an administrator's dream. Our teachers and administrators look up to and respect Ms. Cummings for the positive impact that she has on the adults and students in the school. She is very wise, and she models on a daily basis what great teachers do. First of all, and most importantly, she loves her students. She treats her students the way that she would her own 2 boys. She maintains a calm authority, and students are very clear on what is expected of them. They feel welcomed and respected in her classroom. Ms. Cummings has a wonderful sense of humor and can find a reason to laugh in even the most trying circumstances. However, she will keep the old that works as well. She maintains a very good balance of what works and what is best for students. Ms. Cummings has been an encouraging mentor to many new teachers through the years. She can present teaching strategies and ideals in such a way that teachers are very accepting of her help and advice. Ms. Cummings continues to be an inspiration to the adults at the school. She is a wonderful mother to her own 2 boys and all the hundreds of students that she has taught through the years. What an honor it is for Ms. Cummings to be the Teacher of the Year at her school for 3 times in her career. Ms. Cummings, we are so proud of you, and Tramway loves you.
Mrs. Brittany Murray graduated from Westover Senior High School in Fayetteville, North Carolina. She obtained a Bachelor of Science and NCBK teaching license from UNC Greensboro. She is currently attending Greensboro College, pursuing a master's in birth to kindergarten education and looking to graduate this month. Mrs. Murray has been an NC pre-K teacher for 6 years. The last 3 years, she has taught at Warren Williams School teaching. She loves seeing her students reach their milestones and helping each other. She also loves to hear students talk about the things she has taught them. She believes a teacher's job is to set up an inviting, caring, and nurturing classroom environment where all children feel and know that they are part of a school family. A teacher must also foster learning for all of her students. In her own words, teaching is more than academics, it's life skills. Mrs. Murray realizes that teachers are so much more for their students. Teachers are a support system, and therefore, teachers have the responsibility to believe in their students and help prepare them for the world. Mrs. Murray is a wife, a daughter, and a sister. She loves spending time with her family, watching movies, crafting, traveling to new places, snow tubing, skiing, and dancing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Warren Williams School Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Brittany Murray.
And lastly, Ms. Daltina Peel is Westley Middle School's Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Peel has been teaching for 27 years, the last 17 at Westley Middle School. She graduated from North Carolina State University with a degree in middle grades math education in 1987. She is married to Wade Peel and has 2 sons, Ross, 19, and Dalton, 14. She enjoys reading, biking, and spending time with her family in her spare time. She is math department chair, leading West Lee's math teachers in curriculum and providing assistance on what is needed and more. Being on the AVID site team, she helps conduct staff development on AVID strategies and is a true believer in AVID's impact on school-wide culture and success. Mrs. Peel exemplifies the ideal math teacher, giving 110% to her students. Every free minute at school is spent tutoring students in math, as seen in her recent Lee County Schools Inspired magazine feature article. At lunch, she can be found surrounded by a table of students tutoring them in math. During her planning period, she remediates her Math 1 students, and on Wednesday nights, she offers free tutoring assistance at her church. Mrs. Peel is always the last car in the parking lot at 6 p.m. every night and has to be made to leave school. I have never seen a more passionate, caring teacher who values education and desires success for all of her students. Let's give all of our representatives a round of applause, and I guess it's time for Dr. Lynn Smith to come and take the podium.
I hope everyone has gotten a sense of what our teachers bring to the table, and they're an outstanding group. I know the committee had a very, very difficult choice in deciding. I'm going to say a few words about the person who is our Teacher of the Year, and then we will ask them to come forward. The 2015-16 Lee County Schools Teacher of the Year knows how to advance via individual determination from personal experience. This teacher personally struggled academically as a child, but overcame adversity and continues to love school in spite of its challenges. This energetic, loving educator uses the fit of empowering people, students, and fellow colleagues. Through teamwork and finding creative ways to lead and take ownership in her classroom, school, community, and even as far as Belize, the Lee County Schools Teacher of the Year for 2015-16 connects her art and vision fluidly. As a longtime integral staff member at Broadway Elementary School, she has taken art to an entirely new level. She has committed herself to a revolutionary process with our AVID Art Ambassadors outreach with nursing homes in the community and hopes to expand statewide. These are just a few of the noteworthy aspects about our new Lee County Schools Teacher of the Year, a dynamic representative of the teaching profession, Wendy Bryant Motley. You all right? While she gathers herself just for a second, we're going to ask Betsy Wilkinson and Jennifer St. Clair to come forward, and we're going to give Wendy just a moment to say a few words as well. Maybe in a minute.
I'm okay.
Okay. It's all yours.
Thank you. Wow, what a true honor this is to be here tonight in front of this podium and represent Lee County Schools as the Lee County Schools Teacher of the Year. The accolades that I heard of everyone standing up here is just outstanding, and any one of you could have been chosen for this honor, and I'm just humbled and honored to represent Lee County. I certainly didn't arrive here by myself. Through the years in Lee County, I've had wonderful mentors and leaders. And it's in 1998 when I was hired to work here at Lee Senior, I never expected to have such an incredible journey that Lee County Schools has given me. And it's just been a wonderful place. And this Lee County is home, and it's been wonderful for my teaching career. And I've been able to grow from leadership of Mr. George Raley, who was instrumental in allowing me to do some awesome things. And so thank you for that. And I don't want to leave anyone out to start thanking people, but I've had some incredible mentors in this county, and they know who they are, and I just thank them for helping me to arrive. And thank you all.
I was reminded we have a plaque for you as well. I know that's, just want to make sure you have that. And then I'm going to ask Jennifer to come forward as well for her presentation.
So I'll put on my supposed to be Bob Joyce, supposed to be Wells Fargo hat. Wells Fargo is one of the sponsors of tonight's festivities. Michelle Bullard could not be here, but wanted me to emphasize a few points. The dedication of these teachers to the students of Lee County Schools is amazing and an exceptional example for other communities to follow. Wells Fargo is proud to be a community partner to Lee County Schools. Michelle also wanted me to let you know that they look forward to working with the students as well as teachers. The bank has access to lots of resources, programs, and workshops for students of all ages from elementary to high school. Some of their prepared classes on topics from needs versus wants to paying for college. The bank's goal in developing these resources is to make sure every student is prepared to have a successful financial future. Plus, Wells Fargo offers special discounts to all of the employees of Lee County Schools. So, on behalf of Bob, on behalf of the bank, I am delighted to present you with the big check for $500, a gift from Wells Fargo. That is not the, don't take that to the bank. We hope that you will use this gift to touch the lives of even more students. You are an asset to our community. Thank you.
And I'd like to ask Betsy Wilkinson to come forward with her presentation.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to all the teachers. As a tutor in Lee County Schools and a substitute in Lee County Schools, I get a glimpse of what you guys do every day, and I really appreciate it. More importantly, as a parent of 2 kids in Lee County Schools, thank you for everything you do. On behalf of my husband and I, thank you. And I have 2 cars outside, a 2015 Chevrolet Malibu and a 2015 Chevrolet Cruze, that you may choose which one you would like to drive for a year. I think everything aside from insurance and gas is taken care of for the year. And again, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. This is what makes it so special. And thank you for all the support from the community and all the winners that are up here that make our school so special. I think there's we'd like to have a picture of the entire group, I know, before we leave. And then I think there's a decision that has to be made out in the parking lot about a car. So thank you again tonight, and hope you have a great evening. Thank you.